Alrighty, y'all. Here is the mini LMT that I got this used at Radio Control headquarters in the mall. So yeah, I see this is my first mini LMT. I have two other full-size LMTs. The first one is a roller. The second one is a TLR tuned, which then I shortened the wheelbase of this truck. And now the mini LMT. So. Alright, so before I get onto the video, y'all have a good look of what's wrong with this truck. And I spotted yesterday. So, let's get onto it. Flip over the lid. So, it doesn't have sway bars. I was like, okay, cool. But then when I had a closer look, I don't know what poo head would super glue sway bars. I mean, that's the point, or that's the reason why those sway bars that attach to the plastic shaft right here, that's why they broke off. And you guys don't believe me, what is that? I don't know who in the world would add super glue on sway bars. I mean, that's probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. And then, looking, so these shocks are the aluminum aftermarket ones than the front stock. So I'm assuming this truck was a hardcore basher, judging how it looks, for my opinion. Also looking at the front end of the body of old Digger right here. I guess he was trying to dig his grave, but I guess he failed. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so there's a crack on the shell right here. So basically, somebody was like, bashing this thing hard. Because also, going back to the aluminum shocks, I guess somebody has landed too hard in the rear that they blew out the shock. So which they went for aluminum shocks. If I remember correctly, I think you get the whole set of 4, not 2. So, I don't know. I was just like very busy with work, y'all. I'm kind of, a little bit behind with RCs, but hey, sometimes real life it gets in your way, and you need to sort that out. All right. Anyway, this body's being held by those pins right here, and those mounts, those lemon head mounts. That's where those pin goes. So basically, you turn a notch right here, which toy locks the body. This is a brush setup. If I recall, when they released the LMT 2 years ago, I think the LMT was going for, I think, $350 if I remembered. A little bit too expensive. Until then, when the HPI Mini King came out, a brushless monster truck that had more power, basically the same speed like the Mini LMT, but had more bottom end torque, all metal drivetrain and stuff, going for $350, then that's when Horizon Hobby decided to lower the price of this Mini LMT. So, yeah. So right here, SX108 analog surface, but I've seen that the servo's pretty quick. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this truck, the power system wise. I'm not sure if I'm going to brushless it or not. I was planning to, but then having it look closer at the electronics, looking at the wiring. Yeah, that's kind of a bit no bueno, but I don't know. If it works, then I'm probably going to maybe patch it up a little bit. Probably keep it the way how it is, then get the sway bars to prevent it from moving side to side, which that was never supposed to happen. Look at that. Basically, the whole truck is twisting. So, in general, solid axle trucks, basically like the LMT, all LMTs in general, they can, they're pretty good bashers, but if you're going to the hardcore bash them, then that's probably not going to survive, because independent suspension RC cars in general, if you're going to crash on side or something, then basically the control arms is going to take the abuse. But, trying to do it on links right here, it's more like a solid surface. So the force is going to have to go somewhere when you land it on a side like this. You know what I'm saying? something more like that, then you know the force is going to travel throughout the chassis, or actually through the whole vehicle. And yeah, basically, I mean, I'm not trying to butcher solid axle monster trucks. I'm a monster truck guy myself, and I think the LMT is probably the best looking RC monster truck so far, in my opinion. But you know, just spreading the word out there, and they're not that stable because, once again, those independent suspension vehicles are a little bit wider, and you know they have independent suspension, which they can handle the rough terrain better than these guys. But anyway, going back, sticking with the subject of this video. So basically, I think I'm gonna probably keep this truck the way how it is, except swap out the shocks and add some sway bars. And if the electronic system still works, then I'm probably gonna keep it the way how it is, except, you know, fix up some butchered wires. And the body, I think, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this body. I am more like a pickup truck guy myself. I mean, this Gravedigger is cool. I mean, it looks really badass. I like it, but again, I'm more like a pickup truck guy. Anyway, J Concepts has some body options out there, even Proline as well. So yeah, I guess this is where the video is gonna end. Y'all take care, and bye bye.